Okay, let's see what Michelle's up to at the Bead Gallery.
Well, today I'm going to show you how to start off and do the crystal micro Bodhi bracelet.
What is a micro Bodhi bracelet?
Well, it's like the Bodhi bracelet that we have the DVD for, except we're going to be using a lot thinner string. So we're using some microcord and the number 6 carded nylon. We do have the crystal rainbow micro Bodhi bracelet as a kit, and these 2 strings come with all 18 colors of Swarovski crystal and the bindings. It all is like a set already. And the reason why I thought this was important to shoot is because the clamshells that we are using to begin and end the thread is different from the end crimps that were used in the video.
Okay, let's take a look at this clamshell.
It looks like a little clam. Okay, and it's got loops on one end. It's got the clam shell here and the puka coming out of there. That's where your threads are gonna go in and come out of. So I'll show you how to use these in this video. Okay.
Okay, show us how to use it.
Okay, so let's get started. Well, in the kit, you get 2 yards of microcord. So I folded the cord in half, and this is the middle of my cord here. And you also get a card of number 6 nylon. So you go to the very end away from the needle, farthest and away from the needle. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather all 3 ends together, and I'm just gonna tie it together in an overhand knot. So pretty much you're just pretending all 3 strings are one. And we're going to tie an overhand knot, and you can pull the slack out. And again, this is where my microcord is folded in half, and this is the end of the nylon farthest away from the needle. Okay, so I'm leaving a really short, a couple inch tail. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get these strings, the long ends, and we're going to push them through the clamshell from the inside of the clam to the outside. Okay, you can do the microcord ends first because they're skinnier.
I'll come in a little closer to show that it's gonna fit.
Okay. So I'm gonna just get the 2 ends and kind of line them up like that. And I'm gonna poke them carefully through the hole in my clamshell. Like that. Okay. And then I'm also gonna push through the nylon. And the nice thing about this is it has a little twisted wire needle stuck to the end, so you just kind of poke that through.
Is it easy to fit all 3 strands through that tiny hole in the clamshell?
Yeah, because the microcord is really skinny. And we only need to put this nylon in here once. So yes, it fits really easily. Then we're gonna slide the clamshell all the way down to the knot that we just made so it can eat the knot. Okay, before we cut this thread away and stuff, you're gonna want to put a little bit of glue on there and let it dry, and then you can trim pretty close to the knot, and we're gonna slide the clamshell over it and pinch it shut. And then we'll be ready to put our clasp on there.
Ooh, use the thread zapper while I have it up close so they can see.
Okay. Our new and improved thread zapper.
Yeah, I like that thing.
Okay. So to cut the threads short, you can just use a thread zapper. So I'm gonna put a little bit of tension here by holding the thread in my hand like this. And you're just gonna slice right through it. You can actually melt the ends together like that.
So the tip of that thread zapper is very hot, correct?
Yes, don't touch it. Okay, you're going to hurt yourself. Okay, but then I melted all my strings together, so I probably don't even have to put glue on this knot, but I will just because I like to.
Okay. I'm going to catch up with you after your glue dries, okay?
Okay. So now my glue is dry. I'm going to pull my knot into the clamshell like this. And you can either use your fingers or like a little chain nose or a flat nose plier to pinch that shut. And now my clamshell's eating my knot and my threads are ready to go. I've started to pre-string my crystals on the number 6 nylon here, you can see. Okay, and I'm going to be knotting with my pink micro cord. Okay, so I have some strung on just to show you how I'm going to get started. So this is my sticky mat to keep all my beads in order. Love it. And I'm just going to put a bead stopper at the end of my nylon cord, just so my beads don't slide off as I'm setting my clipboard up. Okay, it helps to have like an extra piece of string to help fasten your clamshell to the clipboard before we start knotting. So I'm just going to feed my string through the loop of my clamshell like this. I'm just going to tie a little knot on there temporarily, which we'll cut off later, like so. And then I'm going to put my work onto my clipboard. Thank you, Janice Lee, for providing us with all of these wonderfully modified clipboards. Okay. And I'm just going to clip my nylon down to the edge of the board like this. And I'm ready to knot. Okay, so I'm going to begin my knotting with my pink microcord. I'm going to start by making a P for project. Go over, under, and through. And then I'm going to make a 4.
This is the same knotting that we do in the Bodhi bracelet.
I'll do one more set of P and 4. The nice thing is with the microcord, it's so fine, it makes such small knots that if you accidentally forget and make maybe 2 P's in a row, it's not as obvious as with thicker thread. Okay, so then I'm ready to slide up a bead. Okay. Put my first crystal up there, then I'm going to start with a P again, P for project. I'm going to do a 4.
If you wouldn't mind, so the viewer can see better, if you could keep your right hand down a little bit lower.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
I'll move it away.
Thank you.
I'll do one more P. How's that?
Nice.
And a 4. I'm going to slide up my next bead. And we're going to keep knotting until we get to the end of our bracelet.
So you're just repeating the P and the 4
Yes.
and the P and the 4.
Yes. 2 sets of P's and 4s.
And how many times are you going to do that?
In the sample and the kit, I think we have about 36 beads because we have 18 different colors and 2 pieces of each. So you can either use up all the beads in the kit, or you can just stop when the bracelet is pretty much the length of your wrist, minus a little extra for the clasp.
That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really fast. And the microcord is really nice because it's slippery, so the knots slide right into place.
Well, Michelle, if you don't mind, would you show us how to finish it? I know you're far from the end, but could you pretend like you're about to be finished so you could give us an idea of what they're going to be doing when it comes to the end?
Sure. Let me get this knot set finished. And I'm going to pull my threads off the board and show you how to use the clamshells to finish the other end.
Since you started with 4 knots, a P4, P4, do you like to end with a P4, P4?
Yes, I like to make it so that it's kind of balanced.
Okay.
Okay, so I have that there. I'm going to take my threads off.
To do my first knot, I'm going to think of the letter P. P for project. My first knot is a P. So I'll make this thread look like a P. Do you see that? Then I'll bring this thread on top, underneath the green thread, and through the loop. And I'll pull. And don't worry, I'll be doing this many more times. So that was my first knot. my second knot will look like the number 4. You see that? Take this thread, goes on top, underneath and through the loop, and pull tight. And I'll alternate, and I'll make a P. Take the thread, goes on top, and then underneath, both threads, and through the loop. And I'll make a number 4. This goes on top, underneath, and make a loop. Okay, now I like the look of 4 knots for this project. 2 is good. 4, okay, it's up to you. And I'm going to push up my tourmaline. And I'm going to start again with P. Go underneath. And pull tight. And pull this tight as well and close. And now a 4. And you can see I keep alternating between the P's and the 4s. And pull tight. Just make sure that this knot is tight against the previous knot, because that'll keep the sides nice and close up to your bead. Okay. P. And a 4. Then start with the next bead. And I'll keep repeating this until it fits my wrist. Make sure that's tight.
Okay, so say that this was the end of my bracelet here, and I'm ready to add the second clamshell on my piece. All you have to do is you end with 2 sets of P's and 4s here to balance off the beginning. Then we're going to feed all 3 threads through the hole of our clamshell here, from the outside of the clamshell to the inside. Okay, again, I'm going to push in the microcord first because it's thinner and there's a needle stuck to the end of the nylon, so it's easier to steer in there after more threads are in here. So putting in the microcord.
If you strung it in the wrong way, like with the clamshell facing the wrong way, would you know right away?
You're gonna know because when you tie your knot, the clam is not going to be eating the knot.
Okay.
So we're gonna go from the outside of the clam, and the threads are gonna be resting on the inside, and then we're gonna tie a knot. Okay. So you just slide it down to the work. Here's my extremely short Bodhi bracelet. Here. We're gonna slide the clamshell all the way down, and then we're just going to tie a few knots with the microcord and the nylon cord. I'm just gonna use the 2 microcords like they're one, and the nylon cord by itself, and I'm just gonna tie some square knots. So that's right over left, and then left over right, and you're gonna treat the microcord like it's one string.
I like that ending. It's very easy.
Yes, it is. You don't need any tweezers or anything like that. You just tie a bunch of knots here so that The threads are bulky enough so that they don't fall out of the puka in your clamshell. Okay, and again, we're going to use some glue. We can use some glue, some hypo-tube cement to keep the knot from unraveling. Glue it, let it dry, trim the thread, and pinch the clamshell shut. Okay, and the last thing you need to do is add your clasp or your finding. So I'm going to cut my thread off here. And in the crystal kit, we did include 2 jump rings, which you can use to attach a clasp of your choice. All you need to do is you're going to open a jump ring. You're going to hook it through the loop at the end of the clamshell. Hook on a clasp of your choice and then close it.
And on our website, we do have a short little video on how to open and close jump rings. So if it's your first time, please check it out on our website.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.